Boy, I'll tell you what, when I grow up and have children, I'm gonna tell them they should become a major league baseball player because Juan Soto, one of the best prolific hitters in baseball, we saw him throughout his career in Washington, in San Diego, with the New York Yankees, putting a dagger in the heart of my Cleveland Guardians multiple times throughout that ALCS series. The man, the myth, the legend himself will be staying in New York, but he will be transferring over to the New York Mets on a 15-year, $765 million contract. Wow, wow, wow. Apparently the Red Sox were in the running at about 700 million. Um, the Dodgers were around 750. Yankees were between 750 and 760, I heard. Mets came in over the top with 765. And now with those contracts they paid out to the likes of Juan Soto and Francisco Lindor, within the next few years, for this team that was under 500 in May, they went on the hottest run in baseball from June on. They made the NLCS against Shohei Ohtani and the Los Angeles Dodgers. There was a weird series that went 6 games where every game was a blowout. And Juan Soto is now a member of the New York Mets. Incredible. Now, as I've always said in baseball, and we've seen it with Bryce Harper, who left Washington to go to Philly. We've seen it with other, huge stars. Manny Machado leaving Baltimore and going to San Diego. We saw it even with Miguel Cabrera staying in Detroit and signing that huge, massive contract. We've seen it in Kansas City with Salvador Perez staying and signing that big, massive contract. Oftentimes in baseball, and even to this point, Lindor moving on from Cleveland to the New York Mets, you could say. Oftentimes in baseball, we've seen guys sign these decade-long contracts. They don't go anywhere. It doesn't mean anything. I think Shohei Ohtani obviously broke the mold, breaking through with the Los Angeles Dodgers. I have an interview with friend of the show, big baseball guy Andy Z, that'll come out on Friday. We talk about Ohtani. We talk about the Dodgers' amazing run. We also talk about this new golden rule in baseball that Rob Manfred is proposing. I mean, could you imagine it with the New York Mets where, Francisco Lindor's on base and, whoever is supposed to be up to bat, and they bring up Juan Soto in this golden rule hypothetical? I mean, what's the point of having a batting order in baseball? To me, it would completely, I don't like it at all. It's like, bringing on, um, a star player for one at bat. I don't understand it. Um, but just back to this real quick. Juan Soto's an incredible player. As I mentioned, he got hot going in New York. He was the Yankees' best hitter throughout the postseason. I just don't know. 15 years, 765 million. That is a ton of cash. And again, baseball, this is a sport without a salary cap. Obviously, in New York, the Mets, they got the richest owner in baseball. They can spend as much money as they want. I kind of thought he was going to go to the Dodgers or go back to the Yankees. So this Mets move is kind of out of left field. And I get the Mets are trying to bring out their brand and they got all these superstars, but we've seen this happen before with the Mets, where they have all these superstars and they indefinitely collapse. Juan Soto here is going to make a difference in that lineup. It's going to extend that lineup obviously even further. I don't think he's the best outfielder in the world anymore. They may try to DH him now that the DH is more universal across both leagues, but he better win a World Series. Getting to the World Series with this amount of money and this amount of talent and this amount of cap in the next few years will not be good enough. And in the National League, Atlanta is going to come back healthy. Obviously, we saw what the Brewers did last year. They're always competitive. You know what San Diego and the Dodgers are going to do out there in that NL West. Don't forget the Phillies, even in his own division, the NL East. He obviously knows Washington and Atlanta and those teams from his days in Washington with the Nationals. the Miami Marlins as well. Honestly, who cares? His former teammate Giancarlo Stanton, what that team a complete dumpster fire. So, but for me, big move by the Mets. They got their guy Juan Soto. It's a huge contract that they'll be willing to pay out because again, in baseball, money is no object. But in order for this to be a success, Juan Soto has to win a World Series with the New York Mets. Like that clip from the Brands World podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Brands World podcast right here on YouTube.